All right. Hey, everybody. So this is Josh Bruce, and we're going to continue to try to set up this Sniff for our custom coding style. It's just a variation from PSR 12, so let's jump into it. So visibility does not equal 0. So basically, visibility needs to be there, right? So let's do this. Let's say, and we're kind of duplicating a rule, actually. Yeah, kind of duplicating a rule at this point. So let's see. If visibility equals 0, then what we want to do is we want to say this stack add error the message. Right. So what do we want to say? Method Where's our other messages? There it is. So we actually want to do single quote method it must be using sprintf or something. Method, whatever the name is, must declare visibility, just because I know this requires more than just that. Scroll back up. The stack. Oh, no, it's this file, not the stack. File, add error. This stack. No visibility. Data equals this name. So this, whoops. Oh. So chances are the way this message gets compiled is whatever's in this array is sprintf'd into this. So we'll do that. And so if I say function x, then that should see so it's hitting the default, right? Because our language doesn't say that. Must declare a visibility. And that's kind of okay, maybe, because it is still getting this is custom. So, but that's not a very good sign that we're setting this up properly. So I'm going to var dump that, open a shell window, 59, 59, 59. Let's come up here, say null, Say true. Check this again. One. Huh. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not feeling this so far. So I'm going to grab this just to make sure. Stack underscore. And I know that conditional is getting ridiculous, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So, yeah, 4 errors. 2. How many is it finding? Wow. Alright, I can't take this anymore, so we're going to do this. Sniff test. PHP class sniff test, and I'm going to say abstract public function x, and then we're going to say final public function y, return true, and we're going to say static public function z, return false, type. Okay, so this is custom because that is fine. This is not fine. That is also not fine. Each class must be in a namespace. We can deal with that later. So now if we go to our shell, sniff test. So it found 3 methods. Which is a lot better than what we had been getting. So there's actually, I can't remember what standard it is, but basically returns should be assigned to a variable first. And so I kind of dig that from the perspective that, especially if you're like debugging this way, because it's a lot easier just to var dump something somewhere. Okay, so let's see what that gets us. Alright, so this is 9002. Okay, so now let's get rid of here, let's scale this back down to just the required fields. Right, because we know this part's working, right? Like either that or I is hitting 0, which maybe. So let's do print I equals I. I'm breaking all kinds of rules, I guess. So does I ever hit 0? I equals 8. I equals 8. I equals 8. Right? So basically we know that this false thing is working. So, right, like using the stack and checking find previous and everything like that. So that's good. Abstract position, and then so if we come up here, this in theory should be our first method. So to double check that, 0 abstract would like to know why it's 9. But that'll be for another day. So the second one, found final. Huh. I wonder if it actually goes backwards because the last one, right, the fourth element is always 10, which is it counting columns? Abstract final static visibility. All right, so I'm going to comment this one out for now. And the final declaration must precede visibility declaration. See, and that should work. For dump final. Twenty-two, 0. I would expect it to be 0 as well here. Right? But instead, it's coming up with 22 and 22 both times. The visibility is coming up 10 every time. So let's do function a let's see what happens. Visibility 0. All of those are zeros. Maybe changing that for loop change the logic a little bit. So let's do this. So if visibility is less than abstract. So with this, the author of this is trying to do, well, is doing a fix along with the error, right? So really, we're going to replace that pretty much in its entirety. So come down here, I'm going to say copy, paste this file, add error method. S must declare visibility after abstract. Method must, that is not the method name. Right. So at least we know this name is the, is the method name. Sorry, I accidentally hit Command W. Get rid of these. Okay. Method B must declare visibility after abstract. But it's not doing that here. Right? Like, this one should not have that error message. "23, 23, 23, 23, 0. So this is working famously. Visibility must be declared on method 1, with method A. Yeah. Okay. Get rid of these. Method B must declare visibility after abstract. Right. So that's working. It's almost like it's not finding the visibility. Let's go back to the while loop. So prefix is going to be a number or a Boolean. And if it's a Boolean, I think it's pretty much always false. So it's going to usually be a number. And that number is this file, find previous. Let's do this. Since we're going down this path anyway. Found abstract. Found final. Found static. Found visibility. Oh. I hope that works. That's fascinating. So here it didn't find anything. So at least that filter thing's working. Found visibility, found visibility, found abstract. Found visibility, found visibility. So we know that first one is working like a charm. Seriously, like that first one's great. But this one's fascinating to me. Found visibility, then it found the abstract. But then it finds the visibility 2 more times. So this was where previous might be beneficial to have as a variable. Previous. Yeah, so we're going to do that. Instead of I, we're going to do previous, because I is only going to be there to govern the loop. So let's do that. So So that's actually working. This shouldn't. I was about to say this should not be broken, but it is. So this is looking a lot better though, in a weird way, by having that previous there. I'm wondering, is it hanging on? Like, is the loop hanging on to something? Like, did I miss? Like, now I'm wondering what I missed in that for loop, or in that while loop. 25, 25, 25, 25, 23. It's still finding visibility at 43. Like, I don't understand that. How can it be finding visibility in two different places? You know what? I'm going to make this explicit because I think it's because it's falling through. T public or code equals T protected. I have no idea what these are, by the way. I am totally just guessing and hoping that they did the logical thing. So now, visibility, 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 don't find, it did. Why is it finding visibility up there? Yeah, and it's the same, I mean, because if I change this to private, that code is going to be different. Ooh, why is it saying visibility? The code is 316, and down here it's 314. Do we have 3 open? Yeah, let's close this one, because we know that one's working. 314, 316, that's so weird. Why is it finding 2? And so, I mean, I don't think I can just flip this, right? Like, yeah, it's like, I really wish there was a test, like a unit test specifically for this loop that just explained why. Like why this is a thing. All right, I've got to start doing this. So prefix equals this stack. Then prefix as a loop check becomes so prefix minus 1. Prev and then we put prev there for whatever reason. And then does prev ever get updated? Like, no, like we're never changing prev. Prev is a static construct. So then tokens, prefix, code. So tokens, prefix, if prefix equals false, break out of the loop, we're done. Right? Sniff test, what do we got? Nothing. Like it's found abstract, found visibility, found abstract, found visibility. Okay, what is this? So if visibility comes before abstract, that's what we're looking for. So that should have failed. That should have failed. Let me make sure that it's running again. And that's fine. Wow. So what is even going on inside this loop? I knew this loop was going to be weird, but like, what does prev even do? And this is the reason that debugging with var dump and all of that becomes problematic. Seriously? Tokens is only used here, so let's leave it there. Now I should be able to comment that line out. And seriously? Prefix, oh, apparently I'm using that in other places. Prefix -1. Now we change this from I. Let's see if that makes it work. Okay. So now let's see if I can use I here. Like we wanted to in the beginning. All right, so that's good there. Now, since we're using tokens, which is outside of this loop, we should be able to go back to finished equals the reverse of this, right? The inverse of that. And yeah, right. So, okay. So basically, what we're saying is, are we finished? And it's the reverse of what is returned from this. No more previous. I might turn this into a loop or something, but anyway, int stack position. This is going to return a Boolean value no matter what. And we're going to say if this no more previous I if is bool finished return finished return false. Okay, so that should not have broken things. If find prev, maybe I was just overcomplicating things. Nope. Wow. All right. Apparently I need to take this a little bit slower. More. Make sure it's not the name of the variable. Okay. So now let's take this. No more previous int iterator position. Oh, why didn't I get an error? Bool. So I think what I did is I left it as I, $I. This no more previous I. Okay, so we're not breaking things yet, which is good. So return the inverse of more equals false. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of going back to being really meticulous about how I'm doing this extract method. So if is bool more and more equals false, then there's no more previous, in theory. What? Oh. There we go. All right. So we can delete that. And that basically what that refactoring was all about, and sorry it took forever and a day, was just trying to make that loop a little bit more readable and also bringing it out, making it a little bit more explicit what we're trying to do here. So get method keywords. That's what we're trying to do here. And so that basically when we get into our actual main function here, it becomes just easier to read, right? If visibility is less than abstract, and I don't know if we've actually solved the problem. So if visibility is less than final, right? We should essentially have the same thing. Method S must declare visibility after final, right? And this is, I'm not even going to bother. So now if we come back to our sniff test, if we say final, or rather public final function C, we haven't used C yet. Method C must declare visibility after final, right? So then we should also be able to say if visibility less than static. Method must declare visibility after static. So we should already have that one somewhere. Static. No, we do not. So public static method C must clear visibility after static. Right. So yeah, figuring out that loop was kind of the big deal. So now what we can also do is we can say if static is less than final or abstract, then we can say method must declare static after final or abstract. And so what that means is if we try to do something like that, must declare static after final or abstract. Right, and so in theory, method C must declare visibility after final, and it must declare static after final or abstract, right? Because the rule that we're looking to create here is that static goes in between final and the visibility, or abstract and the visibility. So it becomes a lot easier once we've got that going. And so now that we know all of that works, I'm going to just decrease the font size. Basically, we can delete that, and this is the actual fix. So let's go ahead and do those. Now, the interesting part is you see how this is all the same. So going back to don't repeat yourself, let's do an abstraction here, or an extraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to say private function error message. And the first one is going to be a string, and it's going to be called message. And the second one is going to be a string, and it's going to be called identifier. And it's going to return void. And what we're going to do is basically just add this, and we're going to say message, and we're going to say identifier, and we're going to come back down here, and we're going to say this error message. And we're going to say visibility wrong position, wrong order. Actually, most of these are going to be visibility wrong order, so let's go ahead and go back up here to our error message, and we're going to say equals, and give it a default, and because that's going to be on the 80 line, we'll go ahead and do this. Thought that should result in an error, but whatever. So don't need that second argument. And if I want to come back later and actually be a little bit more descriptive in what's going on there, I totally can. And then for this one, we can say static wrong order. Now what's going to make this annoying to read is that basically the important part is at the bottom. So a lot of times what I'll do for development purposes is I'll put what I'm working on above where I'm working on it, and just to make sure that I'm always scrolling up, and what's really important to me, which was that process method, is always at the absolute bottom. So now we can just flip that, right? So error message is down there, and this loop is looking a lot better, at least in my opinion. And we get all the way back up here to the top, and when I'm reading it as a developer coming in, I can see, okay, I'm registering, this is what I'm paying attention to, I'm processing, this is the actual process method, but you notice that there's not a lot actually going on here. And sorry. But you notice that there's not a lot going on here. It's just we're setting things up. This is basically our constructor. And then from there, let me go ahead and fix this. Yeah, basically it's kind of clean, right? We're just going to look for method names or have these scores. I was considering making each one of these a separate method as well, and I might come back later and do just that. But yeah, for now, I think we did good with figuring out at least what we needed to do to get it to work, because now all the errors go away, right? And so if we come here, all the errors go away, right? So there, our string class has no more errors in it. So we did good, especially considering this was literally first take on trying to get that done. And so yeah, and it breaks things up into a little bit more logical chunks. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. So as always, thank you for making the time. I definitely appreciate it, and I'll see you next time when hopefully we'll be back in on the string class doing interesting things and getting feedback from our IDE when we type things like public, static, function, hello, save. Uh-oh. I misspelled hello. Ha! I must be getting punchy. And I think we're having an error. Yep. Syntax error, line 59. Unexpected private. Oh, accidentally deleted one of those things. What do we got? Method hello must declare visibility after abstract. That is absolutely correct. But notice it's the only place we had one of those. So we're still good. I thought I had severely broken something. Okay, so again, thank you for making the time, and I'll see you around.